All right, hello everyone. This is Jaden with Yeti Text, and I'm here to talk about a simple tactic for implementing SMS for your lead generation. And the area I want to talk about specifically today is coming from the standpoint of an insurance agent or brokerage or any sort of like financial services company in that area. So, first thing we're going to start off is just some challenges that I've seen facing insurance agents and in the industry in general. And one of those is a lack of direct content on certain topics. Now, what I mean by that is there's a lot of different content, a lot of conflicting things that me as a customer, as I'm searching, I can find, conflicting things on the internet and it kind of jumps all over the place. So I need some way to directly connect with someone quickly so I can get my questions answered. And I can feel more comfortable about the whole situation and everything I'm going through. The other is a big lack of trust in the industry. And the reason I say big lack of trust is a recent study done by Trustpilot. They did a survey of several thousand people, I believe, and it came down to about 31% said the industry is untrustworthy, industry slash insurance agents in general, and another 24% said that it's somewhat trustworthy. So knowing that, you have a lot of customers that are going into this situation already on guard, so to speak, about the whole process and not wanting to be taken advantage of and everything like that. And there's another thing is a big disconnect between the customers and the agents that they're trying to work with, and that whether that be only being able to talk by email or set up appointments through phone calls and everything like that. So I really need a way that I can quickly connect and just communicate back and forth directly when I have simple questions or to get my information out there so I can get a quote back as quickly as possible. Um, and then the rising amount of competition, that's a big thing everywhere, but especially online, especially nowadays where everyone's trying to make a bigger online presence with the current situation. And then another thing is just a challenge in and of itself is just understanding the different technology that you have available to you, different technology trends, different things that are coming out, staying on top of it so that you can be, at the top of your game and doing everything that you can to be successful in getting those leads and helping them to convert. So those are some of the challenges. Now, one way that you can alleviate some of these challenges by implementing SMS, so some of those benefits, is it gives you the areas of deployment, multiple of those. So you can do Facebook, Facebook slash all different types of social media, LinkedIn, all that. You can do calls to action through your website, live events, webinars, anything else, any sort of media content, flyers, for example, can all have a simple call to action with your SMS lead generation on there. And one thing that makes it so simple is you're always just dealing with a keyword and your phone number. So I have an example here from a Facebook ad, just something simple that has my call to action in it, saying text educate to, and then I have a phone number here, and we'll get you connected with an agent. So that's basically how simple it can be to set that up. You just simply put your different keywords and phone numbers out there and allow those leads that are interested in your product or interested in your promise or want the value that you're offering, they can quickly text it from their phone. You can capture information and continue moving. And that's another benefit is it allows for that quicker response time. And there's a term called speed to lead. So the rate in which you respond has a direct correlation with how many leads you're able to convert. So if I'm able to simply text, if someone texts me and I'm able to instantly text back and begin that process right away, it's a lot better than someone having to navigate to my website, fill out a form, and go from there and wait for an email, all that kind of thing. So if I'm able to connect quickly within the first couple of minutes, it makes a big impact. And then another thing is it just simplifies the whole process. So me just having to text this keyword to a phone number makes everything a lot more simple on my end. All the automation running on your end, it just makes it a simple process for me as the customer to get what I want, to get the value that I want. So that's one thing to keep in mind when you're using SMS as a lead generation. It's a quick and simple tool for the customer to use. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar, I want to talk about kind of how you can implement SMS for leads inside of Yeti Text as a direct example. So inside of Yeti Text, we have your messaging conversations. So these different ways of generating leads that deal with different keywords. So I can text and create different keywords that I want, and I can put those different keywords in different areas of my business, different offers, connect them to different social media platforms if I want to track based on that. But there's no shortage of keywords that I can use. I can create as many as I want and put them all over my different processes. And the way it works is you text this keyword and I can build out my conversation and save those responses. So in this example here, in this little conversation that you can see off to the left, I have the example of text the keyword rate. And in this example, it's asking for feedback. Give us a scale 1 through 5, 5 being great, on your experience, and then I'm saving that response into an area of my CRM. And for Yeti Text, that could be ActiveCampaign, Drip, HubSpot, any of those different CRMs you could be saving this information into. So you can build out your conversation to capture information and then kind of transition that into a live conversation. And that's ideally what you would want to do. So in my mind, the perfect conversation is 3 steps. When it comes to lead generation, I say it's 3 steps. You have capturing the first name, capturing the email, and then opening to a question that gets them to respond, and then engaging with them from there. So taking it from that automation into that live conversation. And then once all of that's done, I save the information. Maybe I want to deliver something or send them what I was promising in my ad. Since I'm able to quickly connect it into my workflows or my automations inside of Drip, HubSpot, or ActiveCampaign, I can use those automations to deliver on my promises. So I can send them an email with a bunch of content or information regarding this, or the information that I captured, I can use that to produce a quote for them, or give them information about their policies, or set up an appointment to talk about their policies. Anything that I want to do, I can run it through my automations there. So one thing I do want to talk about, especially with SMS conversations as lead capture, is what to do and kind of what to avoid. The first thing, and I think it's one of the bigger ones, is to avoid word walls. This isn't an essay, this is an English class. You don't have to write 3 paragraphs into your conversations. We want it to be simple and direct. We want these conversations to be quick and to the point, capturing the information that I need, and then progressing to that live conversation or pushing them to the next stage of my process so that it's as simple as that can be for customers. The other, kind of following along that line, is not overcomplicating your conversations. Now, you saw in that example back there showing you how you can structure your conversations. You can build out multiple steps. And like I said, I think the ideal conversation is 3 steps: asking for that name, asking for that email, and then going to a question that engages with them and gets them to engage with me, and I can begin texting back and forth. Overcomplicating the conversations talks about if I add multiple steps, if I have 7, 6, 7 steps in my conversation, I think that gets to the point where it gets a little bit too muddled and too long, and it just becomes a longer process that can get annoying in some situations. So we want to keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate your conversations. A big thing here is knowing when to move them to like a form or anything that you need them to fill out if that's kind of important to you, helping them make a buying decision. So with insurance, for example, that probably can play a part depending on what part of the process they're in and when they're texting in. I might want to send them a link to a form inside of my conversation so that I can get more information like their income, qualifications, number of dependents, all that stuff that matters on generating some sort of quote or telling them about their policies. I don't want to ask 8 different questions in a conversation. I want to capture their name and email, and then I can progress and send them a form to quickly get that information and then get them their information as quick as possible. So I don't want to overcomplicate that. Know when to move it to a form to help them make that buying decision. If the situation they're in when they text is they're already in a buying decision area, then I would just move it to a live conversation. That's where we talked about having that open-ended question at the end of my conversation that allows me to begin engaging. So just kind of know when to move it from form. You can play with it, see what works best for you. So this has just been a quick little tactic on how to implement SMS conversations as a form of lead capture, dealing with insurance as an insurance agent, everything like that. You can't underestimate the value of having that instant connection that texting can offer you. So, obviously it increases the areas of contact, just having SMS as an option. So you have email, phone, and text. So obviously, the more options you have for people to be able to contact you is a benefit. The other thing is just allowing for that quick communication. So it allows some of the stress to come off of me as a customer if I'm able to quickly connect, or if I know, I can just text it and get that information and do what I need to get that process done. It makes everything more simple. So hopefully you found some benefit in this. If you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to the YetiText team. Just go to yetitext.com. You can chat in. We'd be happy to answer you with any questions, get you started, kind of looking at some of the tactics that'll work for you, especially SMS as a lead capture, and just let us know what we can do for you. Thanks. See you next time.